This virus that was isolated has never been seen before in the virus banks that are being kept around the world.
Just as it sounds, this is an influenza virus that is commonly seen in pigs. However, in rare occurrences, the virus does cause infections in humans. Swine influenza infections typically look clinically much like seasonal influenza, having symptoms such as fever, cough, sore throat, and muscle aches. Sometimes additional symptoms such as diarrhea or red eyes are also present. Typically, in swine influenza cases, there is evidence or there's information leading to that the individual had direct contact with pigs. This strain of swine influenza that's been cultured in the laboratory is something that's not been seen anywhere actually in the United States and the world. So this is actually a new strain of influenza that's been identified. The good news is what's occurring in the cases that have been found is they've been very mild influenza cases. But the uniqueness of this flu virus strain is what's concerning because it's not been seen before. I've touched our hospital partners and clinicians to be on the lookout for cases of influenza and consider testing for swine influenza. We're also working very closely with state and federal partners as part of this extensive nationwide investigation. There's not been any information definitively as to what's going on in Mexico. This is an ongoing investigation that actually is both state, national, and international in terms of communication and information. So we really don't have any information that in fact what's going on in Mexico is linked here.
This is extremely rare. There's been one case about every 1 to 2 years in the United States. This is a very unusual occurrence. That's why we're very concerned and very watchful. There is no history of contact with pigs in these early cases. Where this infection might have started from and where it came from. Just like typical seasonal flu, you should go see your doctor if you have such symptoms.
Now, health officials say this is a different strain of swine flu than the pandemic of 1918 that killed tens of millions of people.
And also for people who would remember here recently, it's a little different from the swine flu scare that was back in 1976. 5 people died in that. And swine flu is affecting Mexico as well. The government there has closed schools. They've shut down museums, libraries, even theaters, all in an effort to break the outbreak of the swine flu there. 16 people have died. More than 900 are listed as sick right now. The CDC says some of the victims did die from the same new strain of swine flu that is being reported, as Beth talked about, in Texas and out west in California.